we were entertained. Daniel Dubois, what a performance from him. He dismantled AJ, knocking him out in the 5th round at Wembley. And the trainer of one Daniel Dubois is alongside Spencer Oliver this lunchtime. Don Charles has popped by and joins myself, Simon and Martin. Mr. Don Charles, first off, how are you feeling? Because you were up against it to make it on Saturday night with illness last week. You came on and you joined us on Friday. And you said, there's been no fallout with Dubois. I've just been ill. Well, by God, I bet you brightened up on Saturday night.
Yes, I'm still, you probably hear me. God is great. I summoned up strength just to make it, to be in my guy's corner. I will not be denied. We will not be denied. And like I said, I got off my sick bed and I was ill. Believe me, I was very ill. And I prayed and I said, God, give me strength, just enough strength to go and do this job tonight. And then I couldn't go ill again. And basically, we went, everything went according to plan. I keep saying, you have to forgive me, but that's my saying, God is great. God is great.
Well, it certainly wasn't Saturday night. What about the game plan before the fight and how it played out? How aligned was it? What you hoped would happen and what happened?
You know, when the fight is announced, you know the personnel, you know the fighter, you study, you do your studies, you know the fighter's strengths, you know his weaknesses. And the job for any coach is to work how to exploit the opposition's weaknesses and then recognize their strengths also, how to diffuse and accommodate their strengths. And so you have to recognize that. And so we did that. I'm an old school trainer and that's how we work. It was simply that. There's nothing, didn't have to change anything. The approach is another fight. It's a big fight, yes, but the approach is always the same.
Don, I think it's fair to say that you were underdogs going into the fight. I was with you in the build-up to this fight, and you were supremely confident. You, yourself, Daniel, as you should be, going into a fight of that magnitude.
That confidence is built on a foundation. It's not because I'm a very confident man, always am, but that confidence is gotten, there's a substance to it. It's not just an empty confidence.
Did you expect the fight to go the way that it did, the manner that it went? Because he went in there and most people, including myself, thought that AJ would win the contest and win it around that sort of time, 5th or 6th round. Daniel Dubois went in there, took control of the fight from the opening round and absolutely dominated that. That was a savage performance. Did you expect that?
Yes, I tell you, without being arrogant, you expect it because you have so many scenarios, if this happens, we got an answer to this. Whatever he would have brought that night, we made allowances to accommodate and to deal with anything that he would have brought, the other team would have brought, we could accommodate it and overcome it. And I knew I had the fighter in the name of Daniel Dubois. What he has shown me in the short space of time we've been together, what he has shown me, his ability to take information and retain information and attempt, and the trust had to be there from the fighter that what my coach and my team have shown me, I trust in what they've shown me. That's so important.
Don, when you left that dressing room on Saturday night and headed for the ring with Dubois, were you thinking, there ain't no way he's going to lose here? He's going to blast them out. Did you think that?
Well, you have to, but not just think, you have to believe that. I'm sure the opposition has the same belief.
I think that Daniel Dubois, when we said, this is what we're talking about, where the fights are won and lost, and you noticed on that ring walk, 98,000 people, I think, were in there, and you think this is going to be the telling moment. When Daniel comes out, you're going to look into his eyes, and you'll know on that ring walk whether the fight is won or lost. He come in there like the Terminator. I mean, he was pumped up. He that reference that he said after the fight was from the Gladiator movie, wasn't it? But he come in there looking like, and you just looked and went, this kid is definitely focused, definitely psyched up, and he fancies the job. But fights, a fight of that magnitude with that sort of crowd, that can break a fighter.
Correct. We were told, the general consensus is well documented, that he's going to freeze. He hasn't been there before. There was all sorts of things said. Granted, that could potentially happen to fighters. But I always go back to what I told people. You are the company you keep. You are the environment you are in. So we had to surround him in the company where he fed from the energy that would then aid him to be able to deal. He's a human being, right? We all operate the same way. Our brains operate the same way. So we had to make sure that we, like I said, put things in place that would he could feed. It's all about energy. We all operate. Human beings will operate on energy. We had to build the right energy. The right dressing room was very important. The vibe and his ring walk.
What was that vibe in the dressing room?
Well, you have to be there to experience it. I can't describe it. His energy. You can't see energy.
Yeah, because he come out shouting, didn't he? He was like, you could see him on a ring, like shouting, psyching himself up.
Don, did you recognise the Anthony Joshua that turned up?
He was, in contrast, obviously it's my duty, my focus was on us, it has to be. But when I looked across the ring, because I know the kid really well, Anthony, I know him very well, and I saw a man who looked like he was in a trance. I saw a man who looked like he was under hypnosis. That's what I saw. Because I'm experienced, I can pick up on things. And I thought, we've got you.
Before a punch was thrown.
You have to know these things. You have to see the signs are always
Before
there.
the first bell, you looked at Joshua and thought, we've won this.
Because I didn't recognize the person that I know. Like I said, he's under under hypnosis, or he's just... They said Daniel was the one who was going to get stage fright. He looked like a man who was in shock. He's like, oh my God, this is real now. And he could also see the energy from the opposition. You don't see it. It's invisible. You can't see it. Feel the energy. Yeah.
Martin, it's like the old football parlance, isn't it? Get them beaten in the tunnel. Show them what you mean.
Well, it's extraordinary, Don, that you recognise these things not only from your own fighter, but obviously from the opposition. And I mean, I don't know. I'm a complete amateur, just a layman looking at the fight. But I thought, and this was obviously after the fight was over, that someone who can have some selfies taken on the way back would suggest, no, that's easy. That didn't happen before the fight, so you have to see
this
all
was
of
Joshua
these
when he was going back to his dressing room.
Going back to have selfies. And I think, Jesus, you've just been beaten for the world title. You've just been beaten for that there. The last thing you'd be wanting to be doing as someone who's been defeated is actually having selfies with somebody. Just get back into that dressing room.
Simon, you were there. When you were looking at it, as Don describes there, was the only thing in your mind at the first bell was, how soon is Joshua going to get this over with?
No, I never got any sense that Daniel Dubois was going to freeze in this fight. I never got that sense. He never froze when we went into Poland. He never froze in other environments. The only time I saw him troubled was walking into an empty arena when he fought Joe Joyce in the Mansion Club during COVID. And I also felt that Joshua was susceptible to what happened to him. I didn't think Daniel Dubois was going to be able to execute it. I didn't think that he was going to be able to do it in the way that he did it. I think that everyone knew that Daniel was going to fly at him in the first round, and Joshua seemed to be in a completely different space, whether he walked into an environment of 96,000 people. Let's have it right. The reason why there was 96,000 people there was to see Anthony Joshua.
Correct.
And that puts an enormous pressure on him. That he has to bear that pressure because that's the ramification of being Anthony Joshua. He didn't look prepared for it in any shape or form. He looked haunted by it. Daniel Dubois came into that arena looking like a man ready to fight, looking like the hunter. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the homecoming for Anthony Joshua. I didn't like the fact Daniel had to go in first. I didn't like the fact he was billed second because he was the champion. I didn't like all of that, and it was all about anointing Anthony Joshua. Yeah, and that's what everyone was there for, and that's why the air went out of the room when Daniel knocked him on his backside.
What was it like afterwards, Don? Afterwards, were they all out partying, or what are the Dubois family like?
Right.
At a moment like that.
I'm glad you said that. In contrast to our team, in the sense that I can categorically say to you, we went back to the dressing rooms. Daniel got checked out. That's compulsory to the fighter to get checked out after the fight, make sure he's okay. And we got our clothing. Daniel did the post-fight press conference, and after that, we all hugged each other, embraced each other, and we went back to our homes.
Don, what I wanted to ask you was, what was it like going in there as the champion, but you was the one that was called out first in every press conference, at the open workouts, obviously on the ring walks as well. You was treated like the challenger, but he had the belt. What did that feed Daniel? Like, did that get under his skin and feed him, or what was the situation there?
I wouldn't say get on the Daniel's not. He's that type of character. He's not phased, He's not phased by any of that. We, the team, we don't have such egos. And obviously it's disappointing that this champion has been made to walk second. But Frank Warren explained to me, but you know what? Anthony Joshua is the A side. However you dress it up, he's the reason why there's 96,000. He's got that draw. Yeah, he's a global superstar. We recognize that. So we're not there to challenge that. No, we're there to have a fight.
And it means nothing now.
No, well, it doesn't. It doesn't, because we fuel from that, being treated as a second-rate citizen. Yeah, if it's not the spoken. We didn't speak amongst us. That you fuel from that.
Yeah. Who had the last word before you left the dressing room? Was it you? And if so, what did you say to Daniel?
I didn't, silence speaks volumes, His father, I keep going on about his father. He's a very spiritual man like myself. And Daniel, we don't have to actually speak. Yeah? We've already had the game plan. We've had 13 weeks to rehearse it. So like my father, for example, we've all got fathers and mothers here. My father didn't have to speak to me. He would look at me. I know, oh my God, get out the room or stay in the room.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing you develop.
You got the message. You got the message. Yeah. Don, it's great to have you with us. Stay with us. Don's with us until 1. This busy Monday lunchtime, reflecting on that sensational win for Daniel Dubois on Saturday night over Anthony Joshua, a 5th round knockout in front of 96,000 at Wembley Stadium. Martin O'Neill's alongside Simon and myself. Spencer Oliver is with us, but so too is Daniel Dubois' trainer. The man in his corner, the all-important Don Charles. Don, what do you think is next for Dubois? Many people asking me to ask you this lunchtime. Do you envisage a rematch with AJ?
I'm not at liberty to answer that question. Why? It's too premature. I'm not the promoter. The promoter is Frank Warren, who's done a tremendous job in guiding Daniel Dubois' career to date. So, like I said, I'm not at liberty to expand on that. But it's something that's going to be disclosed very soon, I should imagine. Going to speak to Frank, the team, the management, and then we'll come back and we'll let you know.
Let's say it was a rematch. Would you expect the same outcome?
Like I said, I'm not at liberty. If there was a rematch, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Between,
do you expect the same outcome?
Oh, well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going
he's going to lose.
No.
Would Daniel go about it differently, though?
Look, if that would be the case, then again, like I said, arrogancy and complacency is a killer disease, and I don't suffer from any of that. So obviously, if there's a rematch, it's a serious fight. Anthony Joshua is a serious fighter. Yeah, so a wounded animal is its most dangerous. So if there was a rematch, listen, you got to treat it as round 1 again.
Do you laugh at those who suggest he should retire?
No, it's quick to tell people they've had a bad day at the office to retire. It's easy to this young man here, Anthony Joshua, has transcended boxing. What he's done for boxing, okay, he should be celebrated, yeah, first and foremost. If Anthony decides, you know what, that's it, I don't want to box it, that's his own decision. But no, retirement, why should he retire? He was beaten by the better fighter. Why should he retire?
Don, Eddie Hearn said straight after the fight that there was a rematch clause in the fight, and he was going to activate that rematch clause, and they wanted to get back in there and try and right the wrongs of that fight. Is that the case?
Well, I was quite alarmed when I heard that, because I don't really get involved. I'm not a lawyer in terms of rematches. How can you have a rematch clause when Daniel Dubois was the champion? If anyone wants a rematch clause put in there, surely it's the champion.
But when the fight was made originally, it wasn't when Daniel was a champion, was it? When the agreement was made between you guys. And the reasons why Daniel goes in second is because the IBF strap, which he, by the way, he won by beating Hrgović, wasn't given to him until after he'd beaten Hrgović. And the agreement to fight Anthony was already agreed. And that's why Anthony was billed the A side, and that's why he's got a rematch.
Well, okay, we understand that. On those premises, I understand that, yeah.
And look, is there any other option for Anthony Joshua? Well, he's done that whole rebuild thing. He's done it after the Ruiz loss. He's done it after the Usyk loss. He's at that stage of his career now. You go where he now has to roll the dice and take that gamble on going straight back in with Daniel Dubois, as opposed to where else does he go from that otherwise? Like from Anthony Joshua's point of view, he has to go over old ground again, surely, or the other option has to be retirement.
Well, like I don't like the word retirement.
No, but I don't think he will go there. Like he said it himself, and I don't think he should either. So that means surely the rematch has to happen next.
Like I said, I'm not at liberty to confirm or expand on that. You know, I'm not the promoter. I'm not the lawyer. So yeah, we'll have to come back.
Is Daniel Dubois now rightly looked upon as the A side of British heavyweight boxing? He's the A side. He's
well,
taken over.
I hope so. He deserves it. The kid deserves it. And you look at the last 12 months, last 14 months, the personnel he has been in the ring with and how he's done with them. Surely they've got to, those people who were doubting him should, you know, show some respect. You know, he said himself, put some respect behind Daniel Dubois'
This
name.
is the Daniel Dubois. Jeff Powell wrote an article about Daniel Dubois 4 years ago on the eve of the Joe Joyce fight, talking about forget Fury, forget Joshua. This is the face of heavyweight boxing. Then he had a setback against Joe Joyce, and a lot of people piled in saying he quit in that fight. And he's gone on fought Usyk, and he's gone on and redeemed himself and got himself against Kevin Lerena and Trevor Bryan. But this is his biggest win, and this is an opportunity to catapult him. So he deserves all the appreciation and plaudits that he gets. But I do think that Anthony Joshua will fight him again, because this is a difficult one for Anthony. This is a British fighter that's beaten him in a legacy fight. And Anthony Joshua won't find that very comfortable to have lost to another fighter in a British ring with 96,000 fans against a British fighter. That's why I think you'll see Anthony back in there again with
There's Freddie asking me to ask you, Don. Could Daniel Dubois do to Fury or Usyk what he just did to Joshua?
Why not? He already did it to Usyk. It was a game of two. In football, you have first half and second half. But unfortunately, in boxing, there's only one half, if you know what I mean, yeah? We won the first half, let's say, in that situation with Usyk and Daniel, and Usyk won the second half, yeah? So Daniel already proved he dropped him. It was a legitimate punch. I said that again.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But they chose to deny us on that occasion. I dare them to bring Usyk again. I dare them.
How proud are you to have been the man in Dubois' corner on Saturday night that oversaw that?
Wow. Yeah, I'm blessed. I feel blessed. I've always said that. I feel blessed to be in the position that I find myself in. I was well equipped for the job. I'm experienced. I've been around this industry for a long time. I've done my apprenticeship. And that served me well to be able to support my guy, Daniel Dubois, to go and get this God-given gift to win a fight of this magnitude.
A little over 14 months you've been with Daniel Dubois, and it's been a huge turnaround in his career. And I think the Usyk loss actually was the mould of him. You'd only been with him 3 months before that.
Correct.
But you look at the career that he's had since and in the last 12 months, and the 3 victories he's had now, including Anthony Joshua, and you go, this kid's going to be up for Fighter of the Year, surely.
Well, that's not for me. That's for the public, the experts. So,
Earl Spencer's coming in for it. There's one. Spencer's praising Daniel Dubois through gritted teeth. His star boy, Anthony Joshua, lost again, so he can't ride in his coattails anymore. Oh, Spencer.
Listen, well, look, I've left the Anthony Joshua pajamas at home, the ones that Simon had me made. I've left them at home, and you've got to give credit to Daniel Dubois on the performance. Of course, you have. Anthony Joshua, I think it was, he got obliterated in there, and it was sad to see. It was emotional.
Pardon? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
He got obliterated.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it was sad to see. I'm glad I did say that.
I heard you the first time.
Just made him say it twice.
I heard you the first time.
Yeah, but it was that. It was a savage performance, and it is what it is.
Don, congratulations. What's Daniel up to today? Feet up? Where is he?
He'll be resting. Okay, he's not an extrovert. He'll be. Nothing changes. He's got a very good routine, family routine. I spoke to his father this morning before I got here, and first thing we said to each other, God is great. The father phoned up to see how I'm doing, because I'm still not 100%. Don't worry, guys, you won't catch what I've got. It's gone past the incubation period.
I don't want to see Martin O'Neill starting to sneeze.
I haven't sneezed once yet, so I'm good. I'm good.
Don, thank you for doing this. Thanks for doing it on Friday for us, because you said it rolling.
No, that had to be clarified. He explained to me, because I didn't want to do it. But he explained the importance. Jimmy said the importance. You got to be heard, because there's rumors out there. So thank you for encouraging me because I wasn't in any.
Good old Spencer Fearon, eh?
No problem. Well done, you.
Yeah.
Spencer, thanking you, my
Thanks,
friend.
guys.
Mr. Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, thanks.
Fantastic, as always.
Done fantastic.
Really, listen, can I, while we're still live here, I didn't know who was sitting next to me. I'm a big fan of this man here. I'm a Tottenham fan, by the way. So I know you didn't coach Tottenham, but nevertheless, I like the ethos, the way you present yourself, the way you coach, the way you speak. He's a real man.
That's
There
very
you
nice.
go.
Thank you very much, Don.
And so say all of us.
Congratulations all to you this weekend.
Yeah, well done, Don.
Yeah.
And as for this fella, I'll see you tomorrow at 10.
You will.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.